Welcome back, nerd community. We are gathered here again for another showdown between two epic things we call in pop culture these days, and that is Buffy versus Blade. Who was the better vampire slayer? I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but you actually got to talk about these things because they're actual debates. Um, Leading off, we have CJ is going to come off and talk his part. We got CJ in the group. Say what up.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
We got Travi here. Say what's up, boy. We have Hector here. Say something sexy.
Fuck this.
So I will get back to Travi, unless he's good or not.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I forgot to unmute my mic. I'm good.
Yeah. So keeping it rolling, we have Buffy, a regular ass human girl, versus an half breed Blade. Who you guys think would be who is actually the better vampire slayer? I would say.
So I like this matchup a lot because not only of storyline, plot, characters, but time wise, right? Because Buffy Vampire Slayer was like what, like 7 series of that shit dropped in '97. Then
Yeah.
you got Then you got Blade. I mean, Blade has a few films at three, but 1998, that first Blade came out. So this was that timing, end of the '90s into 2000 Y2K. Everybody like this shit was all hot back then. Like I'm trying to think of the moment I was in then. This was hot shit. I vividly remember going into the Blade films. I was a Buffy fan. I'm not gonna hide that. I mean, not directly, but I mean, if you knew somebody who was back in the day, you was a fan because y'all had a TV. It wasn't no streaming. You was watching that shit, and that's what you was talking about. So you had to see it. But this is a tough one for me. I will not lie, and I probably can be persuaded because when I think of Buffy, I'm looking at the supporting cast. I'm looking at the roles people filled. I'm looking at character development. I'm looking at how this shit led to what's his face, Spike getting his own show. Not Spike, Angel, right?
Yeah, Angel.
Then I'm looking at they tapped into a lot of like lore in terms of things that are horror. Like I'd probably say them and like the Charm Girls. They tapped into a lot of things and brought it into their series. Whereas Blade, I mean, not only was he badass with the shades, half breed, black with his flat top, side fade, like Blade was out here busting head tops, bro. And Blade had, for what it's worth, an interesting storyline. And it's hard for me to compare movies to series, but it is what we do. That's why y'all tune in to us, and that's what we want to talk about. And I'm like neck and neck right now. I think I got my ace card I want to hold on to, but let me hear from the other bros, see who could persuade otherwise.
This is a weird one for me, man. I'm kind of thrown off about this one because I, to be honest, like I don't have too much recollection of Buffy. Like I remember watching it. I'm the youngest, so like I didn't necessarily catch that wave at the same time. Like my brother and sister were watching that show, and I kind of like caught it towards the very end. I do remember her being a very thorough badass. Um, I do remember her, you know what I'm saying, like doing some really cool shit with like wooden stakes and just clapping supernatural cheeks a lot. And if I believe it, she was a all human, right? Correct? Or was there like a little sideline story where she was like some? No, she was all human.
Who girl?
And I think that point right there is really key. The fact that like she is human as opposed to Blade, who is half vampire, and Blade has one obvious freaking weakness, which is he has that thirst. That thirst can drive him into crazed states where he wants to fucking, you know what I'm saying, suck on somebody's blood. And I don't know. I feel like early on in the movies, like sometimes you couldn't trust him. If he didn't have that serum, he was, you know what I'm saying, he was liable to turn on you. Uh, Now I don't know. Are we just doing? I'm assuming since Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a series, we can do all the Blade movies
Yeah,
to
bro. You can use as much
Yeah.
reference as you want. Buffy has
Okay,
the
so
series. He has the comic book series as well. Blade has had a series as well, comic books. Use whatever reference you want.
I don't know. I feel like his weakness is also part of his power because he is half vampire. He does have, and he is the Daywalker. That gives him
Yeah.
certain abilities.
Yeah.
That gives him certain attributes that Buffy, didn't have. And he also has that badass thing where, like, once he does drink blood, he gets this super amped power up where he can just like go crazy and like let loose and do some crazy feats. Um, I'm gonna let you guys talk, and you guys try to give me some of your talking points because I don't know enough about Buffy to make an educated decision on this one. So you guys go ahead and tell me your facts and opinions, please.
What you got, Hector?
You're muted. You're muted, bud.
Okay, damn, fuck, even I did it. So look, I have a lot to say about both of these series because I both equally dislike and like these. Blade, the first two movies were fire, and then the third movie and the Sticky Fingers TV series fucked it up for me. Um, it built up all of these two like you had two movies. You can only go higher from there, and you completely fucked it up. Um, I watched a little bit of the Buffy series. I'm actually rewatching it now to kind of remember a little bit, and I just remember that there were some times where I was just let down, but there were other times where I was pissed, and the fact that I'm pissed means that I'm into the series, that I'm into it. I enjoy Buffy for what it was, and it was a good TV show that had multiple spin-offs. Did it end great? No. Did things turn out the way that I wanted to? No. But it still built up a group of characters because it wasn't just about Buffy. And Blade, it was just about Blade. And the motherfucker never progressed throughout everything. He has a serum, doesn't have a serum. He finds a love interest. Guess what? He fucks up the love interest and it dies off, and he finds it in the next one. What up, Trav?
Question. Now, are we doing this just off the base of like the series itself, like which series was better? Or are we talking about who was the better Vampire Slayer? Because that's two different things. Because I need to know like stats and attributes, or were we talking about what better or like what was a better like media entertainment?
That's actually a good ass question. I'm doing it off of the whole catalog, their squad, their team. That's what I'm that them and the team is how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're essentially talking about like attributes essentially then like their
Right.
team ways their ability. Okay, so can we Hector, can you talk on some of that because like I said I didn't know a lot about Buffy, so I need to know like what her ability
So
stuff were.
so Buffy is pretty much she's an all around slayer. She's just not just a vampire slayer. She annihilated anything that wanted to kill mankind. Whether it was demons, whether it was creepy smiling fucking dudes, which is that fucking tormented me in my childhood, or it was vampire slayers. With
Yeah.
Blade was kind of the same thing. Blade at first he was all about vampires, and then they were trying to introduce that he also tackled like other like supernatural things. They really couldn't get that off the ground, and that's what happened in the third movie. Because then after he defeated Dracula, what was then? Who are you going to defeat? Even though if you delete the leader, like the basic rule in vampires is if you kill the leader, all of humanity is saved because that means the whole virus is gone. And Blade was still Blade at the end of killing Dracula, so it just didn't make sense. With Buffy, she died multiple fucking times. She lost all these other fucking people, but at the same time, she was a slayer who slayed everything, not just vampires.
There's a contradiction of that though because Blade would have still been Blade anyway because he's half vampire. He wasn't a full vampire.
But Blade handed ass whoopings just to vampires alone. Um, Buffy, she was equal opportunity ass whooper. She handed that fire to anybody who came into her face.
Because their town sat on like a portal, bro. It was like a to like the demon world or some shit. Sunnydale. So that's
Yeah,
why she had to encounter all that shit.
mind you, and she still went to prep rallies to go do her cheerleading as well. So she had a day job to her night job as well. So she was tackling a lot of shit. Meanwhile,
Doing she lived a life. That's the whole thing.
yeah,
Hmm?
she lived her.
She lived a
Oh,
life while doing all that she had to do. That's one key point in terms of like why I'm going to pick Buffy over Blade. And like also as Hector said, Buffy's challenges actually have been just a little bit more greater than Blade's has. Blade has been fighting up against vampires majority of his I guess existence and career. Here we have a little girl who's stepping up with just weapons, that's of course perfectly made to defeat anything supernatural. But she's at the end of the day, she's also still just a little girl. She can't take a nap and she'll heal up like how Blade would once he takes a little bit of serum or drinks a little bit of blood, because that's what it is. The blood is pretty much his sensu bead.
yeah.
So that's the reason why, like, not that I don't have anything against Blade, because I'm still gonna watch a Blade movie before I say I'm gonna watch the entire Buffy series again. But I can also admit that Buffy probably would lay the smackdown on Blade if she really tried. Maybe I don't know, 6 times out of 10 in a fight, Buffy would win personally. That's how well equipped she is in terms of competing anything supernatural.
I would have to go with Buffy. I mean, which if I was about to die, who would I rather face, Blade or Buffy? I'd let Sarah Michelle Gellar beat me the fuck up instead of Blade.
He's like, I'm about to welcome that ass whooping. No,
You know, she can clap my cheeks. Blade,
Now, I'm
not
not
gonna try
I'm
that.
not familiar on Buffy's like sense of relentlessness, like because I know for a fact that Blade will hunt you to the ends of the fucking earth. Like once he marks you for annihilation, he will find you. He's gonna keep chasing you down till you're dead. I don't know if Buffy was the same way. I don't know if Buffy only fought to protect her town, or if like something popped up and she knew about it. Like would she go to the ends of the to the world to hunt that motherfucker down, or would she just say fuck it? Like he's not fucking with anybody, so let that be.
In the world of Buffy, the most of anything bad happening would be global, but the core of it, the epicenter of where to stop it, was always in her hometown.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So pretty much her area was the only place that was being populated by these sorts of supernatural. Okay, so that makes sense.
Think about it, like she's at the gate.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
Think about it like that.
Okay.
But she did come back from death in order to give ass whoopings again because they killed her off because she went from WB to UPN. So they had to figure out a way to bring her back.
UPN.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she made UPN popular again as well. All right. So
yeah, it's a close one, but I mean, I got to give it to Buffy. Like I was leaning to from the beginning, but honorable mention the Blade, especially Blade 2. One of the rare times a sequel was, in my opinion, better than the first, but that trilogy just bombed. Like most do, but at the third, it bombed. But yeah, shout out to Blade, man.
Trev, you were with Buffy or Blade? Blade, right?
No, like I didn't have any. I think I'm just gonna remain neutral
Okay.
and just vote neutral on this one.
All right. So we have 3 for Buffy and 1 neutral in between both.
So that's where we have it for a matchup. Buffy kicking ass with an alarming set, an alarming rate. You guys heard it. Twitter No Talk says at the end of the day, Buffy's better than Blade. Catch you guys next week. Catch you guys next series. Adios.
Peace.